all right, I didn't prep an intro. I'm not sure if I even got the right things on here. This is gonna be a good
Standard.
show. Standard, yeah. It's just like last week, my friend Andy and I were deciding to do a discussion, and right as I open it, I'm like trying to say if it was a discussion and what decisions we were gonna make, and I mangled it into one word somehow, and I was like, I'm just gonna keep that. There's no second takes here.
Nice.
Just like this podcast, I'm gonna mangle it right out the gate. So, speaking of that, as always, I am your host here, Armin. I am, am I allowed to talk about The Flash? I'm not sure if I'm not allowed to talk about seeing it yet, because the second embargo that they gave us. But you guys will hear my thoughts on it soon, so, yeah, with that out of the way, though, I am, as always, joined by Mitch.
Sup, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at 692 tweets and 692 pics. And I'm probably not seeing The Flash. Well, I will see The Flash, but I'm probably
yeah, not yet.
I'm not going to run out to see it.
Oh, you're not going to speed off into the Speed Force?
I might ice skate to it, but I'm not going to run.
Oh, you're a Snyder holdover, so you're going to ice skate to it. Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
Doesn't that mean you're just going to see it faster if you're ice skating it?
I mean, hopefully I'll see it faster.
Well, I mean, you need something to escape Ezra's, like, chasing you.
Nothing's that fast. Nothing's that quick.
No, nothing's that quick.
No one's saying.
I don't know.
That's what she
Tristan. Tristan, are you that quick?
No, but I did see some of the early reviews that the Flash is just as fun as toast. But
we'll talk about that. That's in the rundown of the show. We're definitely going to talk about the greatest film of all time, bar none. But speaking of the greatest of all time, it may or may not be Ricardo, who is currently dodging the, I guess, the Canadian wildfires.
Oh yeah,
Dodging. I'm outside. I'm going to die sometime.
Oh no!
on the
Don't
podcast.
breathe! Don't breathe! Do not breathe.
yeah. Just wondering why the sun became orange for some reason.
Oh yeah.
It's all just the publicity stunt for Oppenheimer. That's what it is.
Oh, no, Nolan is going a little crazy with the marketing.
Yeah, exactly.
I know the movie comes out next month, but Jesus Christ.
Well, it's the 6-week rundown, right? This is where you start. Like, this is it.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
He wants people to actually suffer from the nuclear fallout before the movie starts.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to suffer watching 2 hours and 45 minutes or however long that movie is, because, boy.
3 hours and 2 seconds.
Oh my God. Yeah,
I can't wait to. No. It's going to slap. It's
Yeah.
gonna bang.
I'm going to watch it, but yeah, that's long. But as long as it's good, the time will go by quickly, I suppose. So we shall see. But hey, now that we got the intro and the formalities out of the way, we got a big show for you guys. So we're not going to waste time here burning up airtime or whatever, wasting it up. Or maybe we are. I'm not sure. There's nothing that's like small news that we need to mention or anything. So, yeah, you know what? Let's just get into the first topic. Kicking this off, Captain America, Brave New World. We heard about 3 weeks ago that New World Order was being, like, removed from the title because conspiracy theorists and the insane people were already like, see? Disney, New World Order, what a government. This is what they're pushing. Even though, no, and that's literally a title of what they were going for in the TV series, but yeah, the new title.
You think that they're just messing around, but no, that was one of the reasons for the change.
Yeah, legit one of the reasons for the change.
Yeah, because I thought this can't be. I looked into it, and that was part of the reason why they changed it.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie. I like Brave New World way more. I think it's kind of indicative of the crazy guys trying to reshape the world into super soldiers and snake people. It's just crazy enough and stupid enough that you're like, yeah, I like this. I really like this title. So
it reminds me of that animated movie they had recently. I can't think what it's called. Strange World.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
That's the first thought I had when I saw this. I was like, oh, okay.
Are you saying Anthony Mackie is gonna be the woke? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, he's not white, so I guess.
So yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's the only POC character in that movie, judging from the casting.
Excuse me, Ricardo. There is a lot of green people in this film. Okay, green.
Whoa.
We have yet to see a green person on set.
Well, I mean, the leader's head was morphing green into that set photo, so
Harrison Ford already looks green from all the questions they're asking him.
I mean, Mitch, they're supposed to be seen, not heard.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I mean, along with this though, like with the title reveal, we obviously got a look at Anthony Mackie's ultimate downgrade suit.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
It looks not good. I'm sorry.
No.
That's the one thing that like it bothers me sometimes is like obviously the whole reason for the different versions of the suits is just for toys, but like could they make it better? Because like Hasbro has been like ruining the figures for the past couple of years.
Hasbro hasn't made a decent Marvel figure since they started. They all look horrible.
The ones with the masks look good.
I think like the contract's like 5 or 10 years, so like. Oof.
I mean, considering
aren't Disney buying Hasbro?
I was gonna say they were about to buy them a couple years ago, so they could probably, once the deal is up, just be like, "How about we're gonna buy you?"
Should buy Hot Toys instead.
What? So it takes even longer to get the toys out?
Yeah, but then I might actually get a distribution center in Europe. That's not Kin Sideshow.
Yeah, that's true. And that's the kind of like, looking at that set photo, I was like, oh, this is only for the toys. But if you look at the monitors that are behind them, you can see the old suit and Anthony Mackie in it. So clearly, he's going to have that suit at the beginning of the movie. It's going to get destroyed. He's going to get the new suit. The Falcon's going to have a new suit.
But how can it be destroyed? It's made of vibranium.
That's what I want to know.
Mitch, plot device. Okay?
What they're going to do is they're going to go to Tiamat's head, and they're going to get some adamantium, and then they're going to destroy it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Everybody with the Hulk serum, they're going to just jump him and be like, oh no, the vibranium finally broke. What can we do?
It finally broke again, because we've seen it break.
Oh, yeah, we have. I mean, look,
metal.
Yeah. Also, they did confirm the film's not being delayed. It's coming out next May, which is good because that started shooting well before the writer's strike, so...
And something's got to come out next year.
Yeah, because nothing else ain't... No. We'll be talking about that a little bit more. So, any overall thoughts on the new title and the new suit that we haven't covered yet in other discussions?
Like, I'm fine with the new title, but it's just the suit. They could have done a lot better. I don't know why they did that to him.
I thought it was just a stealth suit or something like that.
That's what.
Like
that's the
what it
hopium,
looks
man.
like, yeah.
That's the hopium, man. You know,
Whoa.
No.
Look, do not tell me how much hopium I am inhaling because I am fully aware of that, okay? I'm just
Is that why New York's orange right now? Because everyone's on the hopium.
I mean, we're just hoping that the
my mouth tastes like cotton.
Oh, no? We are really just hoping that the next 4 years go smooth after the election, so we're all on the hopium, but we know it ain't gonna, so...
Oh, you know it's gonna get worse.
We're gonna go hang out with Mitch. It can't possibly get any worse.
Oh, you don't want to come over here? I tell you.
Oh,
right
no!
We're They're considering they're thinking of paying people like $75,000 to leave England. No.
Okay, any listeners in Honduras? We're gonna meet you there. We're gonna set up shop.
Where the hell is Honduras?
I've been there.
Greenland.
I ain't going where I'm frozen all the time. What? Get out of here.
To be fair, Iceland's quite green. It's Greenland you got to watch out for.
But they're like, hey, do you want to be cold 12 months of the year? Not really.
I mean, that's no different if you came here.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, there you go, everybody. I don't know. Figure out where you're going to move once the Brave New World enters us, which coincidentally enough will start next year, right when the movie drops and new president's elected in the U.S. So they're probably going to theme it somewhat politically around that because, that's what Captain America movies do.
But in this Brave New World, can Sam have sleeves?
No.
Because
no.
For a vibranium suit, having your arms out is it's a choice.
It's a choice, all right.
Did Wakanda just run out of vibranium or something? What's going on here?
Namor stole it all, probably.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And Namor did. Went crazy in Wakanda.
Just get this man some sleeves, please.
Miles Morales, a film in live action, not animated, is happening. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long, long time coming, but it's finally going to happen.
At least you know it can't be the Spider-Verse version of Miles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
wrote it where he literally can't come. There was no excuses, Amy Pascal.
It was funny with the memes where it's like, it was me in 2026 watching Secret Wars and seeing Miles have a cheeseburger and knowing what's about to happen.
So I want to kind of combine this in like two-part conversation, because we just got that confirmation that if you listen to the Spanish audio track for No Way Home, distinctly with the actual captions, Miles and his family are neighbors to Peter Parker in the MCU.
Man can't even remember his parents' name, goddamn.
Well, I mean, Rio and Jefferson, right?
There you go.
I mean, yeah, fine. I'll state them. I'll state them next time for clarity's sake. But so they live next door to him. That was obviously intentionally in there. They kept it in there. Is our hopes and dreams that this is a combined effort with Marvel Studios and Sony? Because I still don't trust Sony on their own in live action.
If they want it to be successful, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. If they wanted that to be that big of a deal, it would have been way before now.
Because I like from like Sony Pictures, I don't trust them to do anything correctly. that's the weird thing. Is like I was like, I'll listen in on what like Sony Animation is doing, but when it comes to Sony Pictures as a whole, I don't trust them to do anything really.
Well, here's the question, right? Let's just say this is them setting up for Miles, right?
Right.
It's obviously in the MCU.
Yeah.
So does that mean it's the same deal as like the Homecoming movies?
That would be the ultimate hope, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's more Marvel doing it than it is Sony.
Yeah, it's like potentially, because what the deal usually was with Peter and any other establishing Spider person in that deal. So
yeah,
so I can't take a Miles movie where it's just a rehash of Venom 1.
And you say that, and the ultimate problem here arises. The reason the animated side Spider-Verse has more freedom is because the budget is $100 million and only $220 million with marketing. A live-action Miles Morales film comparable to every other Spider-Man film is going to be $200 to $250 mil. So Sony is automatically going to have more suits, more hands in the pie. Avi Arad is contractually obligated to be on board with any Sony live-action film that's not Marvel Studios. It's already downhill. Like, it needs to be a Marvel joint production or I lose hope. That's my sort of...
I feel like Sony would play it safe and ask for Marvel's help, because they've been doing that a lot more lately, because they're like, look, Morbius kind of flopped. Yeah. The Bad Bunny movie's not going to happen. They're already giving up some hope.
Dude, Kraven's going to flop.
Kraven is vegan. Sorry to the vegan listeners, but
the ultimate evil in the universe, a vegan. What are you doing?
I mean, Scott Pilgrim taught me vegans are bad, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like, and then, because I see people's like, oh, Sony should just, like, see, this is what happens when Sony keeps the Spider-Man rights. Look how good the movies is. I was like, Sony didn't even care about the first movie.
Yeah.
They threw it out there.
It's crazy. It's kind of crazy. I don't know, like, we're obviously going to hear more. They know they actively got something. If I was to lay out a timetable, like, we are getting Beyond the Spider-Verse in March of next year. And if you look at the upcoming... Hopefully, there might be delays. We'll see, but they're already, announced, hey, we're working on Spider-Man 4 with Marvel, but the writer's strike put that in a... So we're probably getting Miles Morales in 4 years in live action. And
because I think like in one of the interviews, a couple of the actors said that like they just finished their lines like 3 weeks before premiere, which makes sense when some of the copies of the Across the Spider-Verse had technical issues. Especially
and also that one scene in like the Spider Society thing took 4 years to finish.
Yeah. So yeah, I would expect a delay into probably the summer of 2024.
I could see it. Whatever happens though, let them take their time because it showed that it was smart to delay this film and give it more time and expand the themes in it instead of rushing it out and doing part 1, part 2 technically. So, I mean, I'm hopeful for whatever they decide to do with Miles. I just hope that they're smart enough to figure out that, hey, maybe Miles is going to need a mentor, and guess what? We perfectly got one now. So, like...
what they're going to make Peter B. Parker?
What is that? That's Tom Holland. He's going to become Peter B. Parker.
Because at every turn, I keep seeing people, for whatever reason, they want Tobey Maguire back.
Oh! No!
Yeah, it's you can be Peter B. Parker. You can do it. And I'm like, no.
Look, if you're gonna get anyone for live action Peter B. Parker, it's Jake Johnson.
Well, honestly, I could also see them doing Andrew Garfield becoming that.
Andrew Garfield honestly kind of makes sense. This man killed all his villains in his universe.
You have Jake Johnson. Do not rob Jake Johnson of his chance to wear the suit and the sweatpants.
Just remember. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man said he went to a dark place, so...
They're all gone, bro. They're all gone. Sinister Six done.
So, Miles, here's what you do. You figure out who the villain is, and you just murder him. What?
I mean, he done that in the first movie. You know, didn't Kingpin die in the first one? I can't.
Wait, you talking about Spider-Verse?
Yeah, I can't remember.
No, he. I mean, I just assume he just went to another dimension.
Yeah, but then he's glitching and his atoms are getting like ripped out of him.
But what about female Dr. Octopus? Wouldn't she kind of be with him too, to like, because she knows what the deal is?
Well, I mean, they're gonna.
I can't remember where she ended up.
I think they'll come back, probably beyond the Spider-Verse, be a villain team
to fluff up the second act of the sequel.
Yeah. That makes sense. Well, I suppose that's kind of what we got to say right now about Miles and this whole thing. Obviously, we're going to come back to this because rest assured, by the time Kraven comes out, when those press rounds start, they'll be teasing more Spider-Man and making more announcements. Okay. That's what they do.
Yeah, for those who can't remember, Kingpin survived and was unconscious, and Miles wiped him up.
Well,
it's really bad. I literally watched that movie over the weekend. Like that.
I can't remember. Well, there we go. Going on to the next piece of news here. So, I did not get to read upon this as it happened, so I'm going into this blind. I assume I know what's going on, but Mitch, what happened here with the strike and what's going on?
Well, the actor, unlike the directors, the actors seemingly want to strike. It's like a 97%. Voted yes to strike, so
yeah, I think it was like
this is the big one.
Yeah, it was like 97.3%. So basically, everyone said that they were gonna go on strike.
Ooh.
Yeah. So next year is barren, absolutely barren.
All right, I'm about to go on strike too.
For what? Clean air.
Just to play along.
I'm playing both sides, so I always come out on top.
Interestingly enough, I've been seeing on my timeline during the strikes, especially, I think one of them, especially with Disney and Warner Brothers, I saw on the Warner Brothers a lot, they actually had to get law enforcement to tell people driving by to not honk their horns for the strikers.
What?
Yeah, it seems to be a thing at the minute. Like, you can't join in a strike. Like, you can't actually.
Yeah.
At least over here, strikes now are illegal, apparently.
Wait, who said it can't do it? Warner Brothers?
No, Warner Brothers got law enforcement to try and get law enforcement to come up with some law that people are breaking, which is the noise complaint that they have for the cars honking for the riders strike that's going on, because they made a sign saying honk if you agree with us, and apparently a lot of people are doing that every day at every hour, and it's getting on their nerves, so they try to get police
imagine
involved.
Trying to change the law and not just damn pay people. Come
Well,
on.
Warner Brothers needs to focus on is changing that damn UI because Max looks terrible.
Yeah,
I thought it was bootleg.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, how you went from HBO Max and went to Max? I was like, you guys couldn't just copy and paste the UI. You could have just kept the service. I thought it was bootleg. I got scared.
Can't
someone
imagine
hacked
paying
me.
for Max.
Oh, I
I
didn't
pay.
It's like
Maybe it was somebody else's.
just imagine with Apple's new VR helmet with that AI going all over the
Oh,
place.
jeez. Oh.
Yeah, $3.5 grand. Yeah, let's go.
Hey, so I'm gonna pay for it.
Just put on the
Yeah.
payment plan. We're Apple's payment plan. You should be
Imagine
perfectly
being
I
on
mean-
a payment plan for Apple. Wow.
I do gotta
Hey,
ask-
you say that, but they have their own credit card system, so
Yeah, they do. I
Of
have
course
one.
they do, because they want to run every. People, Apple is literally what people say Disney is.
It's true. It's true.
But Apple's just doing it quietly, and everyone's jumping at it.
Right, right. So, I do want to ask though, like, now that this has happened, how do they proceed with the film shooting this summer and fall?
That's the fun part. You don't.
Exactly. So, like, what's so
They
we're
had directors for 3 years.
this is unfortunate because here's what's going to happen. 2020 part 2 just without the pandemic. So now we're going to get to 2025 to 2026 and everything is going to again be loaded with too much content once they get back into it because they got to catch up and make up money and the investors just go, but you need to make up the money again, so just pump everything out. Like, this is just terrible. This is terrible management
Who's
from
the
everybody.
guy that directed Joker? I can't remember his name.
Todd Phillips?
Todd Phillips?
That's the one. Yeah, I don't think he's actually part of any union, so he's just gonna do everything.
Well, he's very much anti. It's funny because Todd Phillips is like anti-writers, anti-everything, and he's like, yeah, support the big studio. It's like, boy, your fan base drizzles up this society message, but you're literally anti the message. That's kind of amazing. That is irony, but
so yeah, you're gonna get a bunch of Todd Phillips stuff for the next year and a half.
It's kind of like with Netflix too, right? Because like recently, like they were trying to get money from like the shareholders and stuff, and the shareholders voted no.
Mm-hmm.
To be like, why are you guys trying to get a payment package when with this kind of money it literally can be dispersed to your writers and anybody that works on the project?
Yeah.
But Netflix don't care. They probably be like, hey, let's still take the package. So it's gonna be very interesting how that plays out, honestly.
Oh. Well, we'll see what happens, and if anything else gets worked out, or if anything else comes crashing and burning in the next month in Hollywood, which chances are there's a likelihood it will. So, stay tuned.
I mean, if we say to the directors, right, the actors will make a deal quite quick that won't be for that long.
Oh yeah. 100%.
And then the writers are still just left on their own.
Of course.
And then you got animators making like a quarter.
Animators don't make anything. God damn.
Yeah.
That poor guy looking for clout, leaking all that bootleg Spider-Man footage is really struggling even more now. R.I.P. Clout chaser man. But let's talk about the second coming of cinema, which came out with a resounding 69% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, baby.
Should add that it's now at 73.
Oh, it's gone up slightly. So there we go. The Flash, obviously the reviews started to come in. As I said, I can't talk about it yet. By the time you guys hear this on Saturday, though, my review will probably, actually, no, it will be out, because I know it's allowed to go up before that. So I'm not going to talk about it in general with my feelings on it. I'm not going to spoil anything, but what I've seen is people are very much going, well, it's not all it cracks up to be.
Well, here's the thing. You can have a reaction. You can do like a first reaction on social media and stuff.
Oh, can I?
So you can say roughly whether you enjoyed it or not. Are you a Tom Cruise or
a Grace Randolph?
It is a
Terry Crews
enjoyable mess that I don't think I'm gonna watch again.
All right.
There's my review of the film.
Nice.
It is
sounds Oscar worthy.
I mean, a lot of what the reviews are saying, it's all here, and that's how I feel about it. There is literally the film literally goes a decade into the past to the events of Man of Steel. And how funny is it that the final act, once again, is blue laser in the sky. We have not moved from blue lasers in the sky. It is shocking. Nice. Like, and it's a lot of what people are saying is true. Look, the CG, it is bad. And the same people that aren't calling it out, but calling out in other films need to be called out because, stop. Like, for people that were calling out Quantumania and even Guardians 3 for having a couple CG shots, and especially Thor Love and Thunder, this thing has Thor Love and Thunder CG all over it, and nobody's calling it out. And I'm wondering why. Why? Like,
because it's not Marvel, that's what.
It is.
Let's be honest.
Look, I understand why it's coming in where it's coming. I won't be surprised if this thing ends up in the mid-70s or low 70s when it's all said and done. Maybe even lower, because it's clearly not what they were saying it was, which is, it's the best comic book movie ever made. Everybody loves it. Can't believe how good it is. I didn't see it here, and clearly a lot of other people didn't either. And when you put that much hype on it, people are going in expecting Endgame 2.0. And instead of Endgame 2.0, when you give them The Amazing Spider-Man 2.5, that's kind of the feeling here. So,
but you do see how much of a big difference. There's two films about the multiverse, right? And you could generally see which one has the most unauthentic reaction. I'm not talking about regular fans. I'm talking about like the people Warner Brothers seems to have paid, and I'm talking about like actors, directors, because there's no way.
Oh, they've paid everybody. There's no way.
I want to know how much they got paid, because it's insane. If it was regular fans, understandable, because who knows? Like if they like it, they like it. But you can see how unauthentic that reaction is versus like Spider-Verse. Like you breathe one time, everybody loves that damn movie.
Yeah.
And you can find spoilers for Spider-Verse. You can't find spoilers for The Flash.
You go back to like BVS, they had that fan screen. They used all these different reactions and made up reactions from Twitter and stuff.
I mean,
it's just the famous version of that now. Like, that's what it is.
It is, and I'm convinced. Like, it's like, oh, Edgar Wright says it's the best comic book movie he's ever seen. Well, that's because Edgar Wright is probably gonna direct the movie for James Gunn, right? Like, we're kind of seeing what's happening. A lot of these directors and actors that are talking about it, they're going to land the gig. And, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, because there's been directors that have done the same thing with Marvel. Sam Raimi, before he was ever hired for the MCU, he was out there being like, look, I've seen a couple movies, and I think these are absolutely great. So it does happen, but something about The Flash, the way it was pushed out, like 2.5 months ago, we were getting the early reviews, and it's like, boy, we want the CinemaCon, the standing ovation, the cheers, the pop. It's the greatest thing you've ever seen. And now you're seeing, it's like, well, I don't know if it was. And, okay, look, it's coming out on Saturday. I'm just going to, I'll put this out there. Michael Keaton is checked out of this movie.
I'm shocked.
He is there. He reads the lines. Half of them are not convincing. And trying to convince me that his Batman from Batman Returns does everything he does in this movie now is incomplete. Like, juxtaposition to what they did in those movies. It doesn't feel, in many ways, like the same Batman. I can't explain it, but I was like, this doesn't feel like his version of Batman has aged 30 years. Wait, it doesn't feel like
Batman 89?
No.
But that's my favorite Batman.
He literally, I can't explain this. Like, he feels like he's doing the DCEU version of what a Keaton Batman would be. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it felt weird. I didn't feel like I was connecting to the same Batman. Almost like they were multiversing him from a different one. Like, it's just not there. Oh
my God, he still thinks he's in Morbius. Oh my
God. Honestly, kind of. Some of that line reading was kind of like that. I was like, ooh.
I was going to say, it's the same line. Like, in the trailers, it's the same feel as the Morbius stuff. So
yeah.
I mean, like, he did, like, do an interview, and people asked him about that, and he's, that let's get nuts line? Yeah, it wasn't in the original script. I just said that just to say that.
Yep.
You can tell.
You can tell.
Said it.
And, also, everybody was hyped for Supergirl. get ready for a glorified cameo and barely anything.
Oh no! Oh great.
She's there because they couldn't get Henry Cavill in time, and that's what it is. It's
So how do we feel about Muschietti doing Brave and the Bold?
Director-wise, judging from like the trailers alone, from how he does Batman, I don't mind it.
Well,
it depends who's writing it.
I guess let's quickly just add that as a subtopic to this. So Andy Muschietti is, by pretty much everybody out there, even people that work at the bigger outlets on their own like social media, like, we're hearing this is 100% true. So the Flash director, Andy Muschietti, to direct, Batman Brave and the Bold. If that happens, I think he's a super talented director, and there's moments in the Flash where I'm like, he gets it. But again, the Flash felt like a studio mandate to me. Yeah. And I think if he's given more time and allowed to do his thing, I think he could do something real good. So I honestly, I would not mind him from Batman Brave and the Bold. I think he would be a good pick. I think he is a good pick. So
yeah, because at the end of the day, the Flash went through like 90 directors in the universe or something like that, a billion writers. So I feel like whatever problems the Flash has, regardless what anybody says, it's hard to blame him when the Ezra stuff not on him, people getting fired not on him. It's.
Yeah, but then he's also like, oh, if we make a sequel, then I'll have Ezra back. Man,
he got paid for that too. There's no way.
Yeah, but I don't.
I'm just gonna.
It seems sus.
Here's what I'm gonna say. I think this news is out there because they haven't committed, and they're just waiting to see the overall reception and box office to Flash, and then they either confirm him or they move on. So
just look at the Black Adam box office, and it's the same for the Flash.
Yeah,
if it makes more money than Spider-Verse, I'll be surprised.
Yeah,
Spider-Verse is making bank.
No, I'm definitely expecting the result of Flash will kind of be indicative. And again, take out my gripes with what he was doing with Keaton and everything, because it felt forced. The Batman scenes he does are very Batman-like. His, no joke, him handling of Ben Affleck's Batman is the best Batman we've seen in the DCU, bar none. He nails it. Ben Affleck, for the first time, feels like you're watching the Batman that he could have been. And it's only 5 minutes in the film, and then you're like, oh. So I think on that alone, if they were to take that energy and put it into Brave and the Bold, it's a winning combo. But again, what does that say about the Flash 2 then? Right? Do you guys see what I'm saying? If you hire him for this, it's well, the Flash 2 isn't clearly happening, right? So maybe that's why they haven't confirmed it yet or don't want to confirm it, because they probably know it's not going to happen. I don't know.
It's probably like you said. It's like Black Adam, right? They're just waiting for the box office.
Yeah. It's. I'll be interested to see what happens with this whole thing, because I think Muschietti's good. I mean, I love his It films. I think those are great. So he clearly has.
Did he do It Part 2?
I think he did both of them. Yeah.
Yeah, he did both.
Yeah.
The second part was trash. No, I'm just gonna say
it's definitely not as good as
the first one was great. I'll just put that in there. First one was great.
Everybody was laughing in it too. I was mad. I was like, how dare you make this a comedy? I was like, you telling me you couldn't just make fun of him in the beginning of the film? You made this 3 hours? Come on now.
That's how it goes. But
I forgot that's how it ended. Oh no, that's so bad.
Yep.
I'm sorry. All they had to do was do the first ending. That was it.
Yeah. Well, I suppose we'll see what happens with Muschietti and the Flash next week when the movie comes out. We talk about box office and everything. Let's jump on to our final topic, where we're gonna discuss Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Racist Spider-Man.
God.
Bro, I've never seen a team of racist Spider-Men in my life.
Bro, have you
Even Spectacular Spider-Man? Yo, don't worry, Miles. You have to let your family die.
Yeah.
Fuck Spectacular Spider-Man.
just wait till Beyond the Spider-Verse brings us to Spider-Man Lotus World. Just you wait.
Oh,
Just wait.
He's the real mastermind.
I mean, well, there's like a reason like for all this. It's I don't know if we want to get into that first or just talk about the beginning.
Yo, everything spoilers. Whatever comes to your mind, we're gonna do like probably 15, 20 minutes on this.
All right. Well, the reason why it felt like with Miguel and Miles it felt like racially charged is because the writers confirmed in an interview that the meta conversation that they're having is Miguel, for whatever reason, is the personification of all the Spider-Man fans that believe Spider-Man should be a certain way, and that Miles shouldn't have existed at all since his publication from 2011. That he is not Spider-Man for various reasons, including a certain colored kind.
There's only one reason, right? No, let's be right.
Damn, they had to use another POC character to.
Yeah, that's why he was like. Yeah, that's why people were like, it's kind of. Yes, that's what people were like. It's kind of, you know.
It's a little insane.
Yeah, so that's kind of, well, you know, it's like that's kind of, you know, awkward. But I can for some people try to rationalize it is that unfortunately Miguel was like one of the very few choices that would actually be that aggressive and
see, this is where I do not think Miguel's that aggressive.
Yeah.
This is not the Miguel from the comics.
No, not at all.
Ironically, this is breaking canon for that character. This is...
Look, I am dead set convinced he's Morrowind. I am convinced he's Morrowind.
It's Duck Hawk. It's 100% Duck Hawk. No one's going to tell me otherwise. The story of this Miguel is 100% superior Spider-Man.
I could see that, honestly. Hey, wait, Superior Spider-Man is coming back as well, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Dan Slott was the writer and consultant on the script as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, no, I was gonna say that the whole Miguel thing, because they always like to put the two side by sides of Miguel, and I'm team he abused the steroids of that serum. Because they showed him, right? He's shooting.
Yes.
He's shooting for over a year.
Yeah,
and fighting multiverse problems.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't be surprised if it's still just Miguel just angry that he has to deal with whatever problems that happens after that.
Yeah, because it's kind of funny, and it's a callback to in the beginning of the film where he tries to give his origin, but Gwen interrupts him, and then they technically do it again, but he doesn't actually give his origin.
They hate him.
Yeah,
they hate him.
Yeah.
How dare they?
He's Duck Hawk. Because you're looking at that little lair he has where it's all dark and orange and stuff. There's so many Duck Hawks in there.
There's
more than any other villain. There's 8 Duck Hawk arms. There's the old 60s looking cartoon Duck Hawk.
He has the red and white armor in the background being made.
Yeah,
those references to the villains is actually pretty funny. With especially where Miles says, "I like video games." One of them was reference to video game man, that enemy from Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends TV show, and then the other one is Green Goblin from the Atari video game Spider-Man.
Huh. Yeah,
I like how Genki's playing Spider-Man too.
Yeah.
And I was like, that UI looks different. It's like, oh crap.
And for me, anyways, I guess the MVP of this whole situation is Hobie Brown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now the Americans want to like the English. Come on,
Man, Hobie don't even like the English.
I felt a certain. I felt
doesn't like the Prime Minister.
I heard that. I felt a certain way when he said he hates the AM and he hates the PM. He hates labels. But yeah, with Hobie, it's really interesting because you didn't know what his deal was, but looking back on it and looking into interviews, Hobie was, I guess when they're coming up with a plan to, I guess, isolate Miles, he didn't like that. So going back to when they were first meeting and up to the intervention scene, he was basically warning Miles, like, you really want to do this? And they're talking about what he wants, and he wants to watch, and Hobby's like, well, why don't you just make your own? And he goes, but I need to join if I need to make my own. And he goes, well, you need to think about what you're fighting for before you enlist. And that's when all this stuff comes up.
That's what I also like about that Hobie thing too, is because after I watched it the second time, you literally see him take pieces while they were discussing that whole situation.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this man just knows. I feel like the people who knows Miles' story already, because it seems like everybody knows in a way who Miles is. So he's like, man, I don't gotta deal with this. It's like, I already know racism when I see it. So
and with interviews from the writers is that throughout this whole deal that Hobie was on Miles' side from the very beginning, because they wanted someone to at least be on his side because of what's been happening. Where let's be honest, the Spider Society looked like a cult to me.
Yeah,
and like
it's all curated by Duck Ock. That's why.
Yeah, it's like Miguel was preying on their guilty conscience and telling them that this has to be this way, while one Spider-Man who didn't didn't drink the Kool-Aid, or there's a couple of them, but the one that they're primarily focused on didn't drink the Kool-Aid and said that you have to try. He didn't like that.
So, because that's the biggest thing as well, right? This is very much not a Peter Parker mindset to have.
Yeah.
This whole Spy Society thing, like, obviously, a lot of the ones we focus on aren't actually Peter Parker. Like, you have Miguel O'Hara, you got Jessica Drew, you got Gwen Stacy, you got Peter B. Parker, but he's very much not in line.
You got Spectacular Spider-Man, that loser.
But he's there's a reason why he got cancelled.
Which is interesting because from the first film to the second one, they had to make some altercations. A lot of the characters where they had their universe designation numbers, they had to put extra stuff to it, especially like Peter B. Parker, where in the first film he was from 616. In the second film, he's from 616B.
Yeah. They're
that's because of the whole MCU thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
which I always find funny. Like, no one gives a crap that he was from 616 or that Miles is the 1610 into the Spider-Verse. No one cared. No one cares now that Miles is still 1610.
Yeah, but
the MCU does it, and everyone like literally shits themselves.
Well, they did it. It's funny. Now a couple of them. That's where the designation numbers come. Where like I think it was like the Miles that you're following here. He's from 1610B.
Yeah,
but the movie doesn't state that. It just says 1610.
Which I think Beyond the Spider-Verse is clearly going to go into this, because they put it in there. And remember, they just recently revealed that they're in communication with Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios with this film as well. So, I mean,
I say it wouldn't surprise me if it is like a B, because when Miguel explains the whole multiverse thing, you have the sacred timeline come up, right? But then it shifts to the web that they're all in. So it's obviously the spiders are their own unique thing in comparison to the one timeline. Like, there's more than one layer to this multiverse.
Yeah, and it's like, especially with like how Miguel is saying that, you have to let things play out, because with him, he did the worst thing out of all of them, like trying to change the timeline. He like self-inserted himself into a variant of himself and changed everything from doing everything, because that version of himself wasn't supposed to, died. He wasn't supposed to be around to change things anymore, which caused.
But didn't he say he only replaced him when he died?
Yeah, he saw him get shot.
Yeah, but he was still in the universe changing things when he died, because he was supposed to die. He wasn't supposed to start, still be Spider-Man in that universe and doing all these things.
That's the reason why he's doing it this way, right? It's a case of like, it's not necessarily hypocritical of him to be doing what he's doing, because he's trying to make it. Ignoring my whole thing of I'm pretty certain he's Doc Ock and he's doing this all for a reason, right? Like, him making that mistake and trying to fix everything and make sure it doesn't happen again is completely justified.
Well, I will say this though. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
It's like the whole hypocrite thing is kind of crazy because even though the whole spiel of like Miles can't be Spider-Man, even though both universes Miles canon hasn't been disrupted whatsoever.
Yeah. This is the thing
like
as well.
Miguel is capping.
Yeah, we can get into that with the whole canon thing where turns out at the end of the movie, Earth 42's Spider-Man was a Miles.
Yeah.
So,
which they hinted at into the Spider-Verse. Because when he first meets Peter Parker in that universe, they had the little weird spider sense bit. His background is purple and green.
Yeah.
And the spider also glitches out.
Yeah,
so it's obviously not from...
Yeah, it was... and also across, if you look at the Spot's origin story, you can see that they plucked Spider 42 from Earth 42, and the person it was supposed to bite was Earth 42 Miles. Because you see him in the same, because you didn't know who that was.
We assume it's Earth 42 Miles, right?
Yeah, it was.
Because
he had the double braids, and his hair had like a web
basically him. And that's what essentially happened, and that's where it's kind of weird with when he said that Miles wasn't supposed to be Spider-Man, because it's like kind of a loophole, because the spider bit a Miles, but it wasn't the correct Miles.
Right.
Yeah, that's why he's the anomaly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they were really creative in how they telegraph all that and really set like all of it up, and took some unexpected turns with it as well. So it's like
it's not just that. It's they kept doing it in Across the Spider-Verse for the third film, where I don't know how it happens, but with the Spot and Miles, I guess they're psychically linked for some reason. So he knows what the Spot wants to do, which was, kill his father. But in those frames where he's, showing what he's going to do when he gets back, if you don't tell me I got this, but if you look at the frames, there is a single frame that to make that future happen, or that canon event happen, apparently all of Miguel's forces get their asses clapped by the Spot, and it's on Miles to try and stop him, and then that's when his father is supposedly supposed to die. So that's when it throws like a wrench in his canon events, because you're supposed to let this happen, but you're in it as well, because things are changing.
Just thinking about how because obviously everybody that's listening to this knows the film ends on a cliffhanger with all the Spider people coming back. I'm really interested to see just how it all comes together, and like what divide is going to be between the Spider, because clearly not all of them are going to agree with what Miguel's pushing, right?
Japanese Spider-Man, here we come.
Yeah. So you're going to get that Spider-Geddon cover, right?
Oh,
yeah, you're probably going to get it.
Yeah,
I mean, because like even in the some of the ads, they called it the Spider War.
So.
Yeah.
So that's that. It's like going into like all of the animation styles and artwork of this film. It's amazing.
Just quickly, I find it hilarious that Earth 42 looks more like the Ultimate Universe in the 1610 in this movie. Because it's got the same color palette that the original Miles comics had, like the whole that black and the greeny blue and the red. Like,
all of New York just turned into the Bronx. It was crazy.
Exactly.
I know. I think Ricardo, didn't you catch this? Where Earth 42 Miles, he was wearing black Air Forces.
Oh yeah, bro! Beyond the Spider-Verse, gonna drop that. I'm gonna buy it.
Well,
when I saw the color, I was like, buy it.
Well, you're in luck that they are going to release a variant of that color next year.
Yes, I figured. Don't make bank.
But yeah, it's just like I saw with all the art styles stuff. It's really cool, especially with Hobie Brown. Like I think they some of the artists on Twitter. They said like Hobie himself, he took like 3 years. Yeah, actually.
Yeah, he's all at different frame rate. It's like his jacket and the guitar at one frame rate. The rest of them's at another. It's nuts.
Every part of him is a different frame rate, and the way they wanted him to be rendered as this hodgepodge of cutouts.
I'm saying he's the Sex Pistols. Graphics and logos.
Like I also want to kind of just bring up like the whole thing with Miles and Gwen's obvious, relationship and how they're pushing that up because we haven't really talked about
I mean,
that.
the love triangle between those two and Hobie. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Are you
yeah,
sure? Are you
the
sure?
big
Yeah.
love
Okay.
triangle. The big one. Apparently, that's important in the film.
I mean, it was clearly cut, right? Like you can. There's
They
like the bare
probably
bones of it there, but
Yeah, they probably showed it to Amy Pascal and was like, "Look, we got to cut this out." Like, don't show her the finished product.
Bless her.
Yeah, it's.
But yeah, it's just it's good. I mean, it shows parallels to where like they were basically they are supporting each other from what they're, I guess, feeling, where they had this feeling of isolation, where like Gwen wants to tell her friends and family members that of all these things that are bothering her, from being Spider-Woman to like the only person that she could ever connect to that wasn't Peter was Miles. And you see in her introduction that everywhere she goes, all she sees is Miles. And on the flip side, you see Miles where he's thinking of all his friends that got him because they were Spider people as well, and Gwen. But unlike Gwen, Miles can actually keep coming up with new scenarios and stuff instead of that static picture, because unlike Miles, Gwen isn't an artist, so Miles can keep having all these fantasies about his friends and stuff with the art. So that was actually pretty cool.
You know that kid's horny on DeviantArt. You just know.
I mean, seeing all the examples on Twitter.
I've seen. Kid's down bad for the Gwen, I tell you.
Oh, what we haven't talked about is I mean, it's just a small little thing, but Donald Glover coming up as live action.
Oh yeah, that was
I gasped. I was like, no way.
My theater went freaking nuts. It was crazy.
How did they keep that quiet though? Of
right?
all the things.
I mean, they kept a lot
of this movie is quiet.
Yeah, they kept a lot of it quiet.
You say it. The first trailer literally spoils the entire thing. Everyone's going into this going, I've got no idea what this movie's about. It's like, it's so obvious. He's clearly doing it to like protect his dad. No,
I mean, because
I can do both. Like that one line tells you the entire plot.
Yeah,
like,
but that's to me. I don't think his father's gonna die. I think the mom's gonna die in the.
Yeah, with the way they were pushing the mom.
You leave Rio out of this.
They're gonna go.
She got done dirty in the comics. You leave her out of this.
Mitch, just come to New York. There's so many of her over here.
I like to breathe. Like, I don't want to go and suffocate in New York.
You go to Queens, Manhattan, Brooklyn. They're all here.
Leave Rio.
Oh man. So
wait. So question though, before we try to end this, right? Yeah. Question. All right. The possibilities of Tom Holland and his mighty friends joining.
100%.
Because those are the ones that's like, nah, we gotta save people.
So there's a reason why you only saw Toby and Andrew in this movie.
Yep.
Is they're saving Holland for the next one. And we know there was a live action scene cut from this one. They're saving it for Beyond.
I mean,
what if it was Venom or Morbius?
I mean, look, they said they.
Venom was in the movie, so.
Well,
Mrs. Chan is, yeah.
I mean, his universe was in the movie.
I mean,
that might have been the greatest bit of bland acting I've ever seen in my life. That woman did not give a crap, and I loved every second of it.
I do want to bring up though, because they said they removed a live action scene that felt out of place that they shot a while ago. Mm-hmm. Over under on they shot all 3 Spider-Men for No Way Home and 100%. Dropped Miles in there, and then they were like, wait,
100%.
It looks weird. I think they probably would have dropped them into that scene where they're doing the science bros stuff. It's like I could see it in there, and they were like, this is awkward. It doesn't work here.
It won't fit that movie. It would fit this movie.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Yeah. So
let's not turn No Way Home into Space Jam, but we can turn.
But Beyond
the Spider-Verse is fine.
I was surprised Ricardo didn't catch that one thing when they're going through Spider Society, and that it was funny that how the whole thing with Miles and Gwen, and you had like Hobie and Spider-Man India like making fun of the pair because they're acting weird and awkward around each other, and even Gwen was telling them don't be weird. When on the flip side, when he was just trying to understand how things work and asking Spider-Bite all these questions that it was in the trailer, but people didn't catch at first, is that Gwen webs him away from Spider-Bite as well. So I just thought that was funny with the kind of the kind of hypocrisy that she had. Where, don't be weird. And she's being weird.
That's not hypocrisy. That's just kids being awkward.
Well,
bless him. Young love.
Young love. Well, look, it's safe to say everybody here loves the film. The world clearly loves this film. It is, now that you can't review bomb things on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, it's officially beat The Dark Knight for the highest rated comic book movie of all time.
So it's one of the highest rated movies on Letterboxd as well. It's got like a 4.7 or something. Isn't it?
No, I think it's the highest. I think it's.
Oh, is it the highest? Damn.
Yeah. You're wrong to the Dark Knight fans. You're wrong.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't know a plot hole if it hit them in the face, clearly. So, yeah, it's all there. It's all there. Miles Morales, it's good to see that in just slightly over a decade, the character is in 2 tremendous films coming to live action. I mean,
video game did great.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he's only 12 years old, but he's gonna have a very successful trilogy. Like first before any of the Justice League has a trilogy, so there's that.
That's not exactly an achievement, though.
I mean, at least he got a trilogy.
I mean, there's that, but let's not gas him up when DC are fading. No,
yeah,
stack him against someone actually worth talking about.
Man, you gotta stack the Justice League against like the Fast franchise.
Man,
you got the Rock back.
I do want to mention this though. Opening night, where the most hardcore fans come, right?
Yeah.
The amount of kids that were there, dressed up as Miles, that is their Spider-Man. Like they're kids. This is their version of Spider-Man. They grew up on him, and I'm not just talking about kids of color. I'm talking about like every kid I saw was dressed up as Miles, and I'm just like, boy, girl, didn't matter what ethnicity. I was like, this is so nice to see. Like, oh
so
my
you're
God.
seeing that like Barry Allen, Wally West, and
yep,
like John Stewart, Green Lantern effect, all over again.
Yeah,
but it was also a confirmation that a lot of people, I guess, a lot of the casual crowd didn't understand, because especially when I was watching it on Thursday, people were complaining that it ended on a cliffhanger because they wanted more, and then it's
because not everyone follows the fact that it's actually a 2-parter.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like people were saying, hey, if they wanted to make it a 5-hour movie, I would have sat through it. I just needed
that's what my friend told me too. My friend said he would have stayed.
Yeah,
it's already the longest animated movie of all time. Just lean into it. Just go.
Yeah, they said a lot of that's what a lot of the reactions were. It's like, they made it 5 hours. I would have sat there. Just let me have a bathroom break and I'm good.
Yeah,
bro.
That's for the
week.
Crazy. That's for the week.
I was cramped up in the theater with blue balls. I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, no climax. Just to be continued. I gotta hold it for a whole year. That's crazy.
Well,
but before we go, there's one bit they do in this movie. They never, no one mentions it. There's nothing. Like, there's a bit where Miguel like injects himself in the shoulder with something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the serums. That's what I was saying. He was getting buffed with the serums because he's not a regular Spider-Man.
I mean, I know, but it's
he was Morbin, bro. He was Morbin.
Yeah, it's like even the fangs at the start. Like, this is the only time you ever see him doing it. It's just like, well, what's? Like, I know it's part of Miguel in the comics, but they got to be just saving that or using that as a twist for something.
Maybe it's gonna be one of those things in Beyond the Spider-Verse where he only tells his backstory to Miles, where we get like an understanding of what we're going through.
Yeah, I can see
and
that.
that's how they become friends.
Oh,
yeah.
And they got to be cosmic eldritch horror Spot. No.
I mean,
they literally just turn Spot into Molecule Man. I love it.
Yeah, don't look on Twitter for that, because I saw Eldritch Horror Spot, and you don't want to see that.
See, now you told me not to do it, Tristan. I'm gonna do it.
I saw it this morning, man. I didn't even I was like, all it says is "See you back home, Spider-Man." And I look at it like, oh, that's something I didn't want to see in the morning.
Also, I will say this though: Across the Spider-Verse, how dare they made Ben Reilly ultimate edgy '90s, bro? How much annoyance? I know Parker luck exists, but Ben Riley has no luck whatsoever. This man's been through hell. He deserves better. I mean, his muscles are pretty cool. Not gonna lie. That's it.
I mean, the three people I've seen cry about the Ben Riley in this movie, that's just Ben Riley. Yeah.
Man, no, it's not.
It absolutely is.
That's Ben Riley now.
Ben Riley fans gotta realize that he was a '90s edgelord, and that's what you're getting. So,
Ricardo, you say it's Ben Riley now. Ben Riley hasn't had character development in like 30 years.
Because Marvel hates Ben Riley more than Parker.
I mean, it's Ben Riley. I mean, if you look at it,
he was Peter Parker for like the '90s.
Yeah,
I mean, you say that, but like the casual crowd now have like they all in their memory they erased Ben Riley, and now they basically use Miles as the second Spider-Man because that's what it is. Because everyone, I mean, the Ben Riley fans get mad every time people say the second Spider-Man is cool, and he's like, no, Ben Riley's the second Spider-Man. Who?
See, there's that, but no one remembers Kane. You know, the better Scarlet Spider.
I remember Kane.
The good Scarlet Spider, right?
I'll never forget Dan Slott just killing him off in the comic and never again. For years.
Oh no, Slott brought him back.
I know, but it took years.
Didn't he go like fight werewolves in the cartel or some crap or something?
Well, no, that was during his run, and then for some reason,
when he was in Texas.
Yeah,
which is a good run, by the way. I'm just gonna put that.
Yeah, and like for some reason they just didn't use him for like years, and then Slott brings him back, saying that he was always there during whatever they were doing and during Spider-Man, and people are like, "Oh, okay,
sure, why not?"
It turns out that SpongeBob meme where you point to the background.
Yeah.
Bits of Kane.
He was always there.
Always. Well, I guess we're gonna wrap it up here. Obviously, we're going to talk more about this film, and the next one's coming out next year, so there's going to be a lot of hype up. The marketing cycle for the next one is probably going to start by the end of the year, because they know they got something special on their hands now.
I just want to ask, what was your favorite Mysterio? Was it Mysterio or female Mysterio?
I mean, we got to go with female.
What kind of question is that?
Come on.
What kind of question is that?
I am a simp for anything Mysterio, so we're just going to go with the female one, obviously.
Lock me up with them. Like, come on.
You're in New York. You're going to be locked up regardless soon enough. Stuff's always going down there, you know?
Yeah, you're right. I'm already dying from the smoke.
So, hopefully you guys aren't dying from this podcast. Bring you to the end. Whoever stuck around, thank you. We will be back next week as The Flash is going to be set to open. There's going to be box office results and all sorts of conversation. So...
Oh, is The Flash next week?
Yep. This week, Transformers. Next week, The Flash. So it's...
Wow, two bums back to back.
Whoa. Me and Ricardo
we are not going to pretend Rise of Beast looks good. I will not allow that. Movie looks horrendous.
It looks great.
No. It's literally, it looks like a pretend Michael Bay.
CBC Civil War incoming again.
Unicron literally looks like a fucking bug. No, it's got the Michael Bay crap
Unicron.
No, that movie looks bad. It's going to be bad. It's going to tank.
It's going to be good. Just like Bumblebee. Good.
No. Bumblebee was like mid.
What?
You're only comparing it to the other Transformers movies.
And that's why it's better. No. The bar is low.
It's better, but it's still mid.
The bar was low, Mitch. It was low. Trust me.
Exactly. This movie's going to be no different.
We finally might even see Megatron turn into a gun.
Finally.
That does not make a good movie.
It does. Trust me. That's all we need. Transformer fans have been starving since the first movie.
They have not. They are literally Homer in hell eating the donuts.
Oh, well, I'll take
Nothing about you was starving.
I'll take that.
How you haven't exploded yet, I don't know.
Well, we'll see if I explode with Ricardo next week when we return. So, thank you, everybody, and see you next time.